folks? Today on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel, we are putting in a bad new compressor from Northern Tool and Equipment. Quiet Armor technology, 68 decibels, 80 gallon, 175 PSI. This thing is awesome. Check it out. Welcome to Tool Tuesday. Woo! Gosh, good morning everybody. Welcome back to another awesome day here on the Stoney Ridge. Today is gonna be fun. We're in the shop, we got all the toys out, and what we're gonna be doing is showing you guys the new compressor that we just got from Northern Tool. This thing is super awesome. Let's get it out of the box and have some fun. Welcome to Tool Tuesday on the Stoney Ridge. We are on a 150-acre first-generation farm project, and this is part of the project. So we built the mega shop here. I call this the mega shop. It is a 50 by 112-foot shop building. It's going to be a barn dominium also. So what we have here are 4 28-foot bays, and one of those 28-foot bays is going to be my home, which is going to be super cool. The dude's paradise, right? This is the NASCAR that I bought recently, and this is my dad's old Bronco. So this is a 68 Bronco that my dad won in a poker game back in the 80s. That's how cheap Broncos were back in the day. I've got it full of apple wood for cooking on the grill out there, but eventually we're gonna be painting and doing a full restoration on this. Also, folks have asked, I started a restoration on a Willys Jeep 6 years ago. There it is, that's Popcorn, the Willys Jeep. It's coming, I promise. So my plan is to learn how to paint on that Jeep and learn how to wrench a little bit more on the race car. I know a little bit about auto mechanics, but I'm most certainly not a pro. So during these video series, I may ask you guys for your input and tell me what you think. Be sure you're subscribed so you can see it. So first thing we're gonna do, this box is huge, huge box. I don't know how big this thing is inside this box, but I don't think it's that big. Let's open her up and show you guys what we have. And we've got to pick a spot over here, and it may be a temporary spot for now, to put this compressor so that we have compressed air to do the jobs we need to do. One job that is really important is that I have an inflatable spray booth for painting, and we want to paint that Jeep in the spray booth. Make no mistake about it, this video is brought to you by our friends of the farm at Northern Tool and Equipment. Guys, there simply is no better tool store than Northern Tool and Equipment. You're going to see some cool technology here with this awesome compressor. I appreciate all the help with the pricing on this from our friends at Northern Tool. When you go buy tools, shop for them at Northern Tool. Oh, that's gonna make a good mat for laying down on, working on stuff in the shop. So let's go over it. This is the ultimate shop compressor. 80 gallons, 175 max PSI, 38 CFM at 90, 41 CFM at 40, and 230 volts. We've got control boxes here. It already has oil in the pump right here, and we've got some monstrous tubing. Also comes with these rubberized mounting brackets which help to stabilize it while it's on the ground, and Quiet Armor technology, 80 gallon, 38.0 CFM. That's the important part. You need a compressor that can handle an air sprayer, and that takes a lot of CFM, cubic feet per minute. Walking around, control box, big, huge, heavy-duty motor on the back of this. Nice cage on here to prevent little fingers from getting in there and getting messed up, which is a very good thing. Nice, really serious tank. This is a serious commercial unit, guys. I really like it. Made in the USA. North Star, Northern Tool. Awesome. Let's go look and figure out where the heck we're going to put this thing. It's got the Quiet Armor technology, which is supposed to make it a lot quieter and a lot easier to have in your shop. So whenever your compressor kicks on, it doesn't go blah. So my initial thought is, and let me tell you guys about the shop organization here. My initial thought is to put that compressor way, way over here. However, In order to do that, I've got to have everything all set up right here. And this is where my tool zone is going to be. We're going to be doing a lot of tool reviews right here. And I've got to build this out. It just simply takes time and money to build this out. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this compressor over here beside the electrical panel in this area, in this general vicinity. I think we'll do a mechanical room right here, and my bedroom will actually be right over top of this. So we most certainly want a quiet piece of equipment. That compressor will probably stay on all the time. So, Miss Pac-Man, you gotta go. The compressor is taking your place. Oh. What? Not dead. First time this battery's been dead. Try again. Boom! You ain't living right if you don't have one of these. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I don't care what you do. This is called Gulu. Guys, I'll post a link down in the video description. It's a great jump box, affordable. It'll jump a tractor off. Thank goodness. And yes. We got the Yoda Corn out. The Yoda Corn is the Toyota pickup. We'll walk around that in a second. Stick around to the end, we'll show you the Yoda Corn. The battery was dead in it. Every machine in the shop has to have a battery tender on it. If I don't keep these batteries topped off, everything dies all the time. So we've got to maintain those batteries, and I didn't do my job on the Toyota. So this is not going to be the permanent resting place for this compressor. I have got to frame all of this in and build the barn dominium home portion over here. This is where the mechanical room is going to be. This mechanical room is going to be right underneath my master bedroom, okay? Do we want to hear a compressor under our master bedroom? Well, that question's getting ready to be answered with this awesome compressor right here. So it's only supposed to be 68 decibels. I will post some specs down below here as we get the install done. This is a temporary install. In other words, the owner's manual or the booklet that comes with this thing tells us exactly how to install it, exactly what we need to do, and we are exactly not going to do that. We are actually going to leave this on the pallet that it's on right now because I don't know exactly where this thing's going to be, if its permanent home is going to be right here or not. We've got 2 electrical panels and we need to make sure we have access to our electrical panels. So without further ado, let's pull this puppy in here. We're going to get Miss Pac-Man out the way. Anybody else's toolbox look like mine? Oh, it's such a mess. Let's get some good Milwaukee pliers. Job done right. Here's our breaker. Give you guys some ideas for tool carts here. This is the tool cart that I use for all my electrical tools. So anything and everything electrical is in here. Awesome stuff. All my tools, all my wire, everything's here. This is the electrical panel right here. Breaker's gonna go right in. This is a special kind of breaker called a QO, okay? QO has 2 metal brackets versus cheapy plastic ones. We put the best possible electrical panels in here. This is a 200 amp panel, another 200 amp panel. This building has a 400 amp service. We may do more electrical stuff in the future. Talk about it a little bit more. This panel is to serve 1/2 of the garage, and this is to serve the other half. I'm scratching my head a little bit, yeah? I took the cover off of this panel, but this panel is made to serve the shop. What I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave the cover off of this one. I'm gonna go ahead and take the cover off of both panels and we're going to install it into this panel right here. What we're going to be using is flexible conduit, and we're going to use the wire size that is dictated by the owner's manual of this piece of equipment. Always pay attention to your owner's manual. Again, consult an electrician, guys. I was an electrician in the military 20 years ago. Seems like a lifetime ago. 20 years? I guess it was a lifetime ago. But I did electrical work for years and years and years. Hopefully, I don't mess this up. But that's what I used to do for a living, and I achieved my journeyman electrician license back in the day. No longer have that, and we're working on my own personal stuff here in the farm. So hire an electrician, that's what I'm saying. This compressor and any compressor you install in any shop of your own, you may want to consider putting it close to the center of the shop so that you can run all of your air lines out from the center and instead of running them all out from a corner. And as we well know, acoustics in a corner are going to radiate sound a little bit more than if it were in a mechanical room or if it were in the center of your shop building. My most likely place to install this thing permanently is going to be right down here, but we don't have everything all set up just yet. We do need air if we're going to run that spray booth, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing fired up and hooked up. I want to hear it. I cannot wait to hear how quiet this thing is, and I think I may have a decibel meter that we can use to just listen and see exactly how loud it is. This comes with an automatic bleeder. In other words, it will bleed off the water that inevitably gets inside your compressor and ruins your compressor. It's automatic, and when we do build out our mechanical room, this will have to have its own separate plug, probably a GFI plug for that critter right there. But this mounts up to the bottom of your tank so that it blows off water, and it tells you how many seconds that it does it. I've never used one of these before, so this is all new to me. We need to shut off all power to the building right now. Let's just go ahead and do that. Off. Hear that? That's an alarm for power outages, guys. I keep this in my shop in case the power goes out so we can make sure we keep our freezers powered up. Super smart. This can be connected up to any sort of drain you want to put it into. In other words, if you want it to go down into a floor drain, you can do so, guys. I want you to know that. I currently am just going to have it blow off in the floor. My mechanical room will have a drain in the floor. This is to prevent corrosion inside your compressor. Every compressor will build up water. I don't care if you live in Arizona or if you live in British Columbia, Canada. Every compressor will build water up inside, and that will cause your compressor to rust and or rot out in the inside. So for the longevity and the life of your compressor, be sure you drain the water out of it. I don't care if it's this compressor or any compressor that you bought from Northern Tool, of course. Let's go down here. We're going to install this guy real quick. Simply screw that in. We have two dissimilar metals here. So we have cast iron and we have what appears to be brass. So make sure we definitely have our Teflon tape in place here. That's nice and snug. This is basically just a blow-off valve that's set on a timer and it's plugged in to the wall. And as the label says, caution, drain daily to reduce risk of bursting and prevent tank corrosion. Tank rots out, it will bust. Compressor comes with all the mounting hardware and these rubber feet right here, which dampen the vibration. So basically the way you do this is you go in, you set your compressor where you want it, you drill out your holes in your floor, you set your anchors, and you slide these up under the feet so that your compressor doesn't vibrate, shake, scratch your floor, damage the compressor. So really cool, I like that. Comes with them. Most compressors you buy don't come with these. You have to buy the kit after the fact. I like that. We'll get you a little time lapse as I get the electrical stuff all sorted out right here. Basically, I'm just following the instructions that come with the compressor. We got everything all wired up. I, again, used to be a journeyman electrician. Hire an electrician to do this for you guys. Do it smart. Don't be a dummy if you don't know what you're doing. It does come with pretty specific instructions. I actually printed off some instructions and it tells you what leg to put it on and what size wire, and everything you really need to know is included in the instruction booklet with this machine. So without further ado, let's turn on our breaker. Our main is on, and we have a switch right here. There are multiple blow-off points on this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 blow-off valves, and this should be our valve that tells us what pressure it needs to get up to. So let's see where this is set. Let it rip, Tater Chip. I must have done right. First time you fire something up like this, it's always a little nerve-wracking. There's an overload reset button down here. Overall, it's pretty quiet. Let's go get the decibel meter. So when you first fire something up like this, I'm gonna check my wires in the panel and make sure they're not getting too hot. Nope, no temperature whatsoever in there. I like to check my breaker too, put my hand on my breaker. Check a blow-off valve. That worked. Scared me. It's getting quieter. While it's running, I'll post some specs down here for you guys so you'll know exactly what it is. You want to get a nice compressor for your shop. This thing's a beast. Like, okay. So I hear some air. There we go. Nice. So quiet now, huh? So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna go ahead and blow some air out of this and let the compressor cycle again. We're gonna watch our meter real quick. The motor is ultra quiet, guys. Again, conversational. My voice is actually louder than the compressor itself. That's saying something. We've got our valve right here, which turns the compressor on and off. Our pressure gauge right there, so we can always know our constant pressure. We are at about 170 PSI right there. So you can hear this engaged. I hear it humming, and then it turns off. Awesome. That'll keep the water out of your tank, keep it from corroding and having a blowout. This is where we're going to hook up our main line system right here. Very cool. That will be hooked up and plumbed into the entire building eventually. Not just yet. This is the motor, the ultra quiet 68 decibel motor. That is conversation. That's like almost a whisper, guys. Really cool. Post a comment. Tell me what you think about that. Here's our controller with a reset on it. We've got our breaker in there. 80 gallons, 175 PSI max. So that's what we're at. 38 CFM at 90 PSI. This will run our air sprayer. Over here, our hoses come off of our compressor itself, and down in here is where our air comes from. So this again is the Quiet Armor technology. It draws air in through here, and there's an air filtration system that keeps you from pulling trash into your compressor, which is going to increase the longevity of your compressor. There is a blow off here, here, and here, and here if the pressure gets too high in this compressor. Again, this is where we'll be plumbed in. Very simple, easy. It was easy to wire up, no problems whatsoever. Runs off of 220, it's not a 110. This is a 10 horsepower motor. Guys, I'll post the specs right here. Tell me what you think. This is the new compressor for the shop. Huge shout out to Northern Tool and Equipment. I'll post a link to this critter down in the video description. Be sure you check one out for yourself if you're thinking about getting a bad compressor for your shop. Awesome. See you next time on the Stoney Ridge on Tool Tuesday. Woo! Oh, it's so bright. It's so bright. It's so hot everywhere. There's no more heat, please. Oh. Our lighting is pretty good here. I think so. I think we're good. Can you see me now? Yeah. It's not that hot. This shirt stinks and it's clean. I gotta work on my washer. It's so easy, easy when everybody's trying to please my baby. Told you I'd take you and show you the Yoda Corn. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. This is a 1988 Toyota pickup. It's the cleanest one I have ever seen in my life, except for coming off the showroom floor. It does have the original floor mats, and they're a bit dry rotted, a little bit crusty right there, but underneath it looks brand new. This truck has 75,000 actual miles on it right there. I bought it off of a gentleman on Facebook Marketplace. Let's open this up real quick. It was basically completely taken off the frame. This vehicle has been driven only 5,000 miles since 1995. Basically, it was a dark gray color back in the day, and the gentleman that I bought it from painted it this color. I like it. It looks really, really sharp. I put the stickers on it. I'll post a link to that video at the end of this. The Yoda Corn, that's it. 75,000 actual miles. That's my Toyota collector car, I guess. I don't know. We all don't need collector cars, and these things sit around like this. I'm considering, I don't know, thinking about getting rid of it. It does have one cigarette burn because everybody smoked back in the day, I guess. So it has one cigarette burn right there. That is a bummer, huh? Very nice. 4-wheel drive. Battery should be charged by now. There we go. That's the Yoda Corn. See you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and a big shout out to Northern Tool and Equipment. Guys, get all your tools at Northern Tool and Equipment. Great stuff.